Hello YouTube, I am Barkowet from the MyFlipGo channel, and welcome to Barkowet Daily. I've done that twice. I did that yesterday too, or some other day. Why? What is wrong with me? Hello YouTube, I am Barkowet from the MyFlipGo channel, and welcome to Barkowet Daily for July 24th's Happy Amelia Earhart Day episode. Let's get started. So, we're not actually going to talk about Amelia Earhart. I just couldn't think of a title, and I looked up what holidays are today, and Amelia Earhart Day. So yeah, let's just okay. Well, first, the footage today is a 30-minute playthrough of some OpenTTD Transport Tycoon Deluxe. Yeah, why not? But I'm changing that. From now on, it's actually going to be me playing on the Mindflap server for either 10 or 20 minutes, then I'll speed it up to match. I think that's good because that way, like, I don't have to sit down and play Minecraft for what would essentially be 70 minutes a week. I could just do it in like 10-minute increments, and then at a certain day every week I'm gonna have like a sort of recap, like I'll play clips from throughout the week, and that can be how, because I understand most people aren't going to want to watch the clips. Most people just kind of have this on in the background, so I figure if I have like a recap thing, and that works, but I can also have raw footage in the background. I think it's gonna be good. If it doesn't turn out, then I'll switch back to my other different game every time plan, but I think it should work. I've thought about it. Barely thought about it. Let's move on to some main segment that I should really start figuring out ahead of time. Be right back. Okay, so what I decided to talk about is tracking cookies and tracking people online, like companies doing so. So I'm kind of like a privacy, like I really like to have privacy, so I essentially don't let that happen. I mean, yes, it's still possible for some websites to put tracking cookies on, but I have two things that actually keep tracking cookies from like being on my computer while me still not having to log out every time I leave a website. So one program that I have is or one plugin extension thing that I have for Chrome. This is all for Chrome. Is sorry, the job examples. What's it called? I'll be right back. I'm gonna go figure out what it's called. Okay, it's called Tab Cookies, and then the other one I have is Do Not Track Me. Tab Cookies, essentially, when you leave a website, it clears all the cookies from that website. But say that you want to have like the website open in 2 tabs, or a website makes you have cookies. That's just like it's a good middle ground between being tracked online and not using cookies, because not using cookies causes some problems with certain websites, some legitimate issues. The other one, Do Not Track Me, it blocks like Facebook and Twitter buttons, and then some other known tracking cookie things. I actually have it disabled for some reason. It's weird. Yeah, it blocks. Come on, open, please. There we go. Yeah. There's also an option for like, don't track my credit card here, or don't track my phone here, which is basically like, it gives you a fake phone number or a credit card number that can like hook up to yours in some way. I don't know. It's a premium thing. I haven't. And there's also don't track my email, which I actually disabled. I just use my own email because I have a spam email account. But beside the point. My opinion is tracking online is just kind of a dirty thing companies do. I wish they wouldn't. Some people think it's useful, but I don't know. Let's go to the main. No, not. I always. This is the time that I need to stop making these mistakes. Okay, now we're going to go to the other segment where I read out some articles off of Google News. I will see you in a second. Several minutes for me while I find articles. Okay, the first thing that I want to briefly talk about is yet another airplane lost contact, and an Algerian official confirmed that it crashed, but refused to give any more detail. I don't know. I don't know much about this. I'm looking at an article and it literally has 2 sentences of like content, so I don't know much about this. I don't think anyone else knows much about it either. So it's scary. And this has been happening so like frequently recently. Like just incidents with planes. It's weird. I don't get it, but let's move on to some more news. Google Play for Android gets a dash of material design, and it looks pretty good. It's being rolled out to Android. Let me actually see. I'm gonna pause here, and I'll see if mine updated, and I'll go through it really quickly. Okay, just a little update. It hasn't rolled out for me yet, but there is an installer on the internet that you can get, and it'll install the new version on your phone. So I'm gonna go do that. Okay, so a quick little overview. It's got screenshots, or it's got a screenshot with like a video in the top, and then under it's got the name and the price, and then it's got little icons for reviews, the type of game it is. I'm looking at Guardians of the Galaxy. And then a similar one, then the description, which shows the first line, and then a read more button, and then that's like a separate screen. You have to X out of it. Then you have all the screenshots, and then you have all of your reviews, more by Marvel, and similar, and then permission details and stuff. So it looks good. In my opinion, it looks good. Moving on to our next article, though, because we're running out of time. It hasn't been a very productive episode of Barker What Daily. But when is it? I don't know. A woman who filed a complaint against a car dealership was surprised when she went to pick up her refund. It was loose change. Yeah. Yes. Okay. $1 bills, but mostly pennies. Yeah, it was $400. 85 of them was in coins, and the rest was dollar bills. Why? Why? And here's a quote. "I'm doing what the DMV asked me to do. It's legal tender." Yeah, you don't need to be an asshole about it. You don't need to be like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay you," but in all of this loose change that you now have to take to the bank and turn into actual usable money, because you're not gonna buy groceries with $85 of pennies. Okay. Moving on to our last article, which I'll have to cover really quickly. Samsung and Google provide more details on Knox's contribution to Android L. Now, essentially, what that is you can separate your data. You can have like 2 different workspaces. So it's good because you can have like your personal one and then work. So your personal data can't talk to your work data. The apps can't talk to each other. It's essentially like having a sandbox on your computer. But that's all. That's all for me. I am Barker What. I will see you tomorrow for maybe Mindflap stuff in the background.